Hello everybody and welcome to Bird's Nest Designs. Tonight I'm here for Tutorial Tuesday to show you a really fun simple card using the stencils, the blending brushes, and Biggest Wish stamp set. So this card is going to go together really quickly, but has a really pretty effect to it. So this is one of the stencils that we're going to use tonight, or is the stencil we're going to use. Hi Sherry. It comes in the Basic Patterns Decorative Masks collection, and this is, like I said, this is the one we're going to use. It also has this damask looking one. Hi Gail. Some polka dots and some really fun trees. Hi Carol. So we'll keep this one out. That's one we're going to use. We're going to start our card with a card base, basic white. So it's just a regular card base. It's going to measure 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. And then we've got a piece of basic black and another piece of basic white that is just going to layer on top of here like so, but it's going to have a really small black border. Okay, so let's get started with this technique. First thing we're going to do is we're going to stamp the sentiment on the card. So this Biggest Wish stamp here is really awesome because it's got two different fonts. So it's got this big bold one and this nice scripty looking one, and all the words are duplicated. So for this card we're going to use Fresh Freesia and Memento Black. So Fresh Freesia is one of the new in colors, and it's the color that we're featuring in the In Color Club for August. And I'm going to start by stamping Friend right down here in the corner. And then I'm going to use my Memento Black, and I've got Hello mounted onto this block in the scripty font. And we're just going to stamp that right above. And you can see how gorgeous this looks together, these two fonts, how it just is so pretty when you mix and match. All right. So now I'm going to take the mask that we've got here and I'm going to put it over top of my card. But first of all, I'm going to just use I'm going to put a scrap piece of black behind my white paper just for placement so I can see what I'm doing here. So now I'm going to put the mask on, and I'm going to use one of these lines here to line it up to make sure it's straight on my card. Okay, so again, we've got the Fresh Freesia ink pad. We've got one of the blending brushes. Just use a circular motion on the ink pad. I'm going to dab a little bit of the fresh ink off, and then I'm going to hold the stencil in place, and I'm just going to start blending this ink all over. Now I don't want to do the whole card front, so I'm going to be a little bit choosy about where I'm putting my ink. You just want to be really careful not to move the stencil. So if you wanted to, you could use a little bit of washi tape to hold it in place, or a post-it note. I'm just going to keep going in a circular motion, and I'm focusing a lot in the middle. I want the middle to be a little bit darker. What does that sound? Okay, so when you think you've got enough ink on there, you can just pull the stencil back. I just want to get a little bit faint up here. Okay, and then I'm going to pull this off, and look at how pretty. We've got this gorgeous background now. Really simple, just ink, a blending brush, and a stencil. Okay, so now I'm going to move my scrap piece out, and I'm going to bring in the black piece that I've got here that's only 1/8 of an inch bigger than this white piece, and I'm going to just use some adhesive. And over the weekend when I was doing some crafting, I discovered how much I like to use this multi-purpose glue to put my layers together, because it does offer a little bit of forgiveness, because if you put it down in the wrong spot, you do have a few seconds to adjust it before it dries. Okay, so there we've got that. And now I'm just going to bring in the card base. So again, like I said, it's just the basic white card base. You don't need very much of this glue either, which is nice. Okay, so there we've got the card assembled, and I mean, it's pretty just the way it is, just like that. But of course I wanted to add a little bit more dimension and elements to the card. So I've got a scrap piece here of fresh freesia, and I'm using the new flower punch. I can't remember what the name of it is. It's in the new annual catalog. So I'm just going to punch out. No, it's not going to fit. So I want a large flower and a small flower. Okay. And then I've showed you guys this trick before. I'm just going to put the petals in the palm of my hand and push down to give them some curve and to make them more 3D. I'll do the same thing with the little one. Just a dab of glue on the back. A little bit of glue on the back of this one. And I'm just going to put that on here. Okay, I'll use my pick tool just to give it a little bit of pressure to make sure it's going to stay in place. Okay, now the other thing I want to add is some loose flower flourishes. So these are in the new in colors, the pale papaya, fresh freesia, and polished pink. So I'm just going to pull out two larger ones and one of these cute little ones. And then I found for these guys it's easiest to use a glue dot. So I've got my glue dots out. Oops. And I'm just going to put down these, and then for the little one, the glue dot is actually too big for it, so I'm just gonna kind of mush it up in my fingers here and put it on the back so it doesn't stick out. Okay. And then we're almost done. It just needs a little bit of sparkle, so I'm going to add one large rhinestone right in the center of this punch flower. And there we go. There is our Hello Friend stenciled card. It literally took us maybe 5 minutes to make. Very, very simple. And like I said, it just came from the mask, the basic pattern decorative masks, the 4 that I showed you. The blending brushes, which are currently on back order, but they'll be back really soon, later in the month. I think next week they're supposed to be back. And the loose flower flourishes are super pretty. So I can't wait to try this in a multitude of different colors. I got this idea from fellow demonstrator Rose Coleman the other day when I watched her live, and I saw the stencil and went, oh, I forget to show those things sometimes. So thank you, Rose, for your inspiration. I had so much fun making this card that I decided to try a different one. So last night while I was creating, I made another one using the cinnamon cider and the coffee themed stamp here. So lots of fun to use the stencils and the blending brushes. If there's anything you've seen tonight that you'd like to order, message me. I am putting an order in later this evening. So thank you so much for being here tonight. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope that you want to give this technique a try. Have a good evening. Cheers.